Welcome to this week's live video. So, how does Beijing feel about the Iran war about 1 month since it was launched? I had a chance to get a better sense of that when four Chinese experts from Shanghai's International Studies University visited Missoula, Montana, where I am now, for a conference earlier this week. First of all, China is not that worried right now about the Iran war. China also sees the war as an opportunity for it to further cement its reputation as a peace loving global superpower in contrast to a warmongering US. That was behind the decision to announce with Pakistan a 5-point plan for ending the war earlier this week when Pakistan's foreign minister met with China's foreign minister, Wang Yi, in Beijing. The 5 initiatives include an immediate end to the war, to military action, uh, peace talks, an end to attacks on non-military targets like power plants, reopening the Strait of Hormuz to commercial ships, and respect for the UN Charter. Now, I'm not holding my breath that any or most, at least most of these initiatives will be implemented soon. And that's because Iran doesn't have a lot of motivation to see that happen. China also is no stranger to multi-point plans for Middle East peace, along with China brokering the peace agreement between Iran and Saudi Arabia in 2023. There have been at least 7 other agreements announced since 2013. Needless to say, none of those have led to lasting Middle peace so far. As I said earlier, China isn't that worried at this point. It has the world's largest oil reserves. It has diversified its providers of oil and gas beyond the Middle East to countries like Russia and Brazil. And it has made remarkable progress in moving towards an economy less reliant on oil and is close to meeting its 2030 goal of seeing 25% of its economy powered by renewables. Keep in mind also that as the world's largest crude importer, China has relations with a lot of other countries in the Middle East that are equally important beyond just Iran. Those include Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Iraq, Oman, and the UAE. So China also now believes that Trump's hand is severely compromised. As one of the visiting experts from Shanghai said to me, Professor Wenxiao Biao, who is an expert on US and China policy in the Middle East, Trump no longer has the ability to end this war on his own terms. Instead, Iran holds most of the cards over the fate of the Strait of Hormuz and the resolution of the war, and the U.S. will have to respond to that reality, he told me. Also, front and center in Beijing's thinking is the upcoming midterm election. They believe that the midterm election, not surprisingly, I should say, they believe that that ties Trump's hands further and makes him even more likely to try to placate Beijing and get China's help in trying to resolve the Iran war. All of this lessens Trump's bargaining power for his eventual visit when he is going to meet Xi Jinping in Beijing, now scheduled for mid-May. China knows that Trump wants a bunch of deals, including Boeing aircraft, agricultural and energy and gas purchases by China. China now believes it can ask for a lot in return, I was told. That includes political demands, particularly related to Taiwan. Quote, China can give Trump money or deals. We expect Trump to make a statement opposing Taiwan independence and criticizing Lai Ching-te, the Chinese scholar Wen Xiaobiao told me earlier this week, referring to Taiwan's president. Regardless of whether you believe they are right or not, it's important to know that that's what they think, and that will inform their actions going forward. We're likely to see Beijing to continue trying to milk the Middle East crisis for all it's worth, to try to cement its reputation as the more responsible global leader. A effort that I should say has gained some traction in global South countries. It will continue to call for peace, but it's unlikely to take real substantial action, certainly not military action, nor will it put significant pressure on Iran to curb its behavior. What comes next? Tomorrow we have a UN security vote on a resolution by Bahrain to try to open again the Straits of Hormuz to commercial ship traffic. China is expected to either vote yes or abstain, not use its Security Council member power to veto that resolution. And that's because the resolution has been watered down a bit and now says that countries can use, quote, all defensive means necessary to secure an open strait. Defensive, that word was added probably at China's behest. I'm going to leave you with some words from a Xinhua commentary from earlier this week that sums up China's thoughts on the situation today. Quote, the Trump administration is clearly caught in a dilemma. Pulling back now would amount to an unmistakable failure, while leaving itself grappling with the shock of soaring oil prices triggered by an impasse in the Strait of Hormuz. Yet pressing ahead with a ground offensive risks dragging the United States back into another Middle Eastern quagmire. With the midterm elections just months away, the administration wants neither of the two scenarios. While the world community is getting increasingly fed up with Washington's reckless addiction to global domination, America's policymakers are still being trapped inside a fantasy they have created for themselves. It seems they have lost the ability to do serious reflection, not to mention coming to terms with the fact that the era of unipolarity has long gone. Some strong words from Xinhua. That's it for this week. Tune in at the same time next Thursday.